Hello and welcome to this episode of Today's Market. I'm Ben Lawrence, the designated broker and host and moderator of this show. And we're here to delve into the world of real estate, talking about what agents do and what buyers and sellers can look forward to in the purchase of a new property. Today we've got two agents with me, Brynne McWhirter and Ryan McTavish, and we're going to talk to them about they're working together as a team. A lot of times you'll notice driving around looking at signs that it's Team Smith and Team Johnson and things like that. And they're a team in themselves. So here's Ryan.
Yes, sir.
How long have you been a real estate agent?
In residential for just around a decade, a little more probably. I was in commercial before that.
And working in the California
Correct.
market, okay?
Yes, sir.
And Brynne, how long have you been an agent?
I've been an agent for 11 years.
Oh, why? Time flies.
I know, right?
Yeah.
I was thinking about that the other day.
That's pretty cool,
I
actually.
know.
Wow. Yeah, this is my 22nd year, so I'm getting close to my second retirement. So tell me about some of the feel-good moments of being a real estate agent. What have you had?
It's funny you say it. So coming from commercial, I was working with a real hard Russian guy that said, "What, are you going to hold hands with Beverly Hills housewives?" I said, yeah, because there's an emotional attachment when you're dealing with, buying and selling residential. That's really nice. I mean, depending on the person, when you're doing, because you do
Right.
commercial, it's just, P&Ls, and it's all about the money that's, either on the table or off the table.
Yep.
So that's one thing that I think we love about it is the emotional aspect about it and finding people's home. I mean, we're both building right now, and there's an emotional attachment to that.
Yeah. So you're not only agents, but you're your own client.
Right, no
Right.
kidding.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's how exciting. I mean, it's most people's biggest purchase of their lives.
Right.
So it's a big deal.
Yes.
A lot of people, will say, "Oh, I just like being a listing agent," and that's great because especially now that we have Supra boxes and you're not, having to be there at every showing, it's easier than, especially in this market, running around
Right.
showing properties constantly to a buyer. But there's a huge satisfaction when a buyer,
Finds
especially
a
when
house.
they're not paying commission too, and they're like, you're the rock star all the time,
Right.
And there's a
Absolutely.
great satisfaction in that.
So what have been some pitfalls or problems or moments of angst that you've experienced in 11 years?
In this market right now, when we have to tell our buyers, you didn't get
Oh
the
boy,
house.
that hurts, doesn't it?
Especially when
Oh, there's only 20 offers and your offer just didn't make it.
especially
That's the hardest part.
when they're submitting
Oh, and they
a
might have submitted
crazy offer.
or submitted 5 other offers in the past.
Right.
And one that you were feeling was risky because it was so much overpriced
Yeah.
and
Or whatever the case was.
waiving
Well, we
contingencies.
waived or,
Yes.
Like, what's it gonna take to get this, get
What's
something
it gonna
on the
take?
contract? Yeah.
So a lot of agents are making offers where they waive the inspection. How does that make you feel as the agent when
That's
you
We-
have to
a good
wait?
question.
We hate it.
We hate it.
Like, I hate it. We'll try to get a pre-inspect done if we can.
especially with review dates going
It's
on right now.
and it depends on the client. Some people are savvy and we don't worry about it as much. But I mean, a first-time home buyer putting every cent that they have in to buying a house and then they waive their inspection and something goes wrong. It's stressful.
Do you find that when you're doing the showing that you're looking and paying a little more attention to the structure and the walls and the paint and the things?
Yeah, like knob and tube wiring.
Knob and tube wiring. We still have a lot of that around.
Yeah.
But
I do.
even so, you still don't know.
You don't
at the end
know.
of the day.
Yeah.
You still don't know even after having because the inspection's a visual inspection.
Yeah,
You don't know what's
you
behind those
don't know.
walls, but yeah.
We've all watched the HGTV
Horror stories.
shows
I
where
know.
they tear a wall out and they find a bigger issue.
Right.
So let's get on to you working together as a team. Was when you moved up from California, was that something that you were looking to do, or is this just kind of happened? I see her shaking her head a lot over there.
Well, I came from a team.
Okay.
So I was working with a team in California. my wife and I were just looking for a change, and her husband, who happens to be my best friend, they named their second child after me, and they came up after they just built this incredibly beautiful new house. And they're like, I think it's time that you come back and revisit. And while we were out there, they dangled the carrot. I said, well, that's all great, but I'm in my 40s at the time, and it's like, what am I gonna do? And Brynne was like, well, we could start a team together. And I was like, well, yeah, I guess, but it's hard because people are different, and people have different personalities, and people work differently. Anyway.
And you don't know. We didn't know.
Yeah.
If it was going to
takes
work.
a lot for two people to work together.
And we didn't even know each other that well at all.
Right.
Yeah, because we lived in different states, So
right.
It was, but thankfully, we don't. It works.
It's working.
It works
quite well.
Yeah, and we are very specific on how we work, which is even more interesting.
Have you had to discuss that as time's gone on, or did you talk about it in the beginning, or do you just have a feel in this transaction of what you're going to do?
We have our roles for sure. I
Okay.
mean, there's things that Ryan is better at, and there's things that I'm better at.
Yeah, but we really we took it. They took a chance on us, and
Sure.
But as a team, we've been fortunate because we do work so well together.
So much so that people are always asking, would you guys, as we grow, have someone else as a partner. I don't think we would have people doing, showing houses when we're busy, or maybe we'd love to have someone doing, more marketing for us and stuff, but
we're super specific on how we deal with our clients.
Yeah.
So we try to make our clients feel like you are our only client,
Right.
even though clearly they're not.
Do you work together on one client?
Depends.
Sometimes?
It depends.
It depends.
Okay. Depends on the client, or depends on the house, or you?
It just depends on how it goes. Sometimes.
Listings, we always work together. They're
Yeah.
almost
Okay.
all of our listings
That's
we
a
work
little
together.
easier to work
And we
together.
always feel like we should always show up to a listing appointment together.
We're always
because-
together on listing appointments. But
Okay.
buyers, it's hard. We both cannot be in two places at once.
Well, no.
And one of us always spearheads.
Yes and no.
Yes and no, true.
Do you approach your CMAs and your property searches the same way? Are you?
I usually do that. So we do
Okay.
kind of have our roles.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
Ryan's, like I said, Ryan's better at some stuff and I'm better at some stuff. And it just works. Thank God. We don't
What's one thing that you're better at?
listing.
Yeah.
Listing
Like
paperwork, or
yes,
getting it?
the paperwork and getting the whole entire listing together.
the whole-
I am better at that. Mm-hmm.
getting a listing together. And Ryan is better at a purchase contract. Maybe.
Maybe Ryan is really good at getting things out of agents that
Oh.
I don't know how he does
Is
it.
he good
but
with negotiations?
yes, and
Oh,
he
okay.
just finds out information that, in my opinion, we probably shouldn't know, but you find it out.
Yeah. She's a fantastic negotiator as well.
But I'm pretty
We
cut
both
and
love
dry.
that. But yeah, she's more cut and dry.
Mm-hmm.
We always say good cop, bad cop. I'm a little more softer, and she's like this, and and I'm like, hi. So I noticed your favorite color was blue.
So have you ever been too busy that you think we need to get somebody else to help us?
In our opinions, no. In our spouses' opinions,
There you go.
Here's the thing with us.
probably yes.
We have the same work ethic, which is and we believe in, as a real estate agent, you should be available. Yes, it sucks and it's not for everyone, but you should be available 24/7. Now, the good thing about that we love is that gives us the opportunity always to be making money 24/7. We don't have hobbies. We love our work, and that's kind of our hobby. So to find someone that matches our drive and everything in the real estate industry we've tried it, and
It would be tough to find. I mean, we just
really
work
tough.
well together. We're fortunate.
So you're working a lead system that makes the phone ring. Does it matter who answers it?
No.
Just get it answered. Meet the other people, right?
yeah.
Because it is first come, first serve.
Yeah, and we even get frustrated because a real estate transaction, it's everything's time of the essence,
Right.
and pick up your phone. You chose this industry, to
Yeah.
us,
that's our biggest complaint.
Other
to
agents
us,
not answering their phone?
communication is everything, and it goes down the line. It goes with lenders, it goes to escrow, it goes to whoever. We're all in this together. Once you get under contract, and it's like, communicate.
Yeah.
And even if, good, bad, and the ugly. Sometimes, everything's fine and dandy, and then everything, something, is starts to go south with the financing. They stop answering their phone. As far as everyone needs to communication because we can get through it if that's the case.
I'm finding more agents will text me. They won't pick up their phone, but in their voicemail it even says,
Right.
for
Text.
faster service, text me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Which is
texting-
fine.
Which is fine. At least they're communicating, right?
Exactly. We just want answers,
Yeah. Yes.
and we need answers.
And that's kind of the biggest change in communication I've seen. This is year 2022 for me in real estate, and the biggest change in communication is texting.
Yeah.
Everybody's texting, and the second biggest
It's your brick and mortar.
is scan to email, and especially on foreclosures because banks would not take a scan to email. You had to fax all your
Yeah,
paperwork.
which is-
So out of the 2008 recession, you'd have 90 pages, 100 pages of information to fax to a bank, and at least some of them now are changed their ways.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, communication, just whatever because we've got email, texting, whatever it is, it's just because it puts us in a position where we need to advise our clients, and if we can't, then it makes us look bad, and the transaction needs to move along. So, anyway.
What would you change or do different
With what?
if you had to start as a team, start all over? If you were just tomorrow meeting for the first.
The only thing that I think you talk about the changing of time being in real estate for so long is everything now is, social media and marketing. And keeping up to par on that, I mean, is a constant.
If you're not on social media, marketing,
Well,
whether it's lost.
whether it's social media, whatever that
Whatever it is.
that avenue is, you just have to stay so up to date with that stuff.
But there's nothing that comes to mind that I would say we would change as a team meeting right this second. I mean,
Right.
we've been lucky. And I think the biggest part is we have the same work ethic and the same thought process on what we should do with our clients on a daily.
And your families kind of know where you're going with it, so that helps too. Even though they don't always like the late night phone calls or
Getting up from dinner,
yeah.
Yeah.
being on
I gotta
a
go take this.
beach
Yeah.
with your computer on your lap.
But with that being said, being a team, I don't know how people do this and are highly successful in the real estate market not being a team.
Yes.
Because how are you always there 24/7? You're not. No one can be. But if one of us leaves town, for example, or is with the kids, another example, then we can trade off.
Right.
And so or even
Right.
a buyer needs to see a property. It's like Brynne's not available, or vice versa. Then one of us goes. But we're always available, and that's what I think makes huge success. And
Right.
along with our drive and our
Right.
work ethic.
Right.
Do your buyers ever have any confusion about who's working for them?
No, because we always in the very beginning say, hey, you don't just get one of us, you get both of us.
Yeah.
Here's who we are.
That's why we always show up to
And
listing
how do
appointments.
they react to that?
At first, they probably don't understand it, but in the end, it's like we never unavailable. It's like
Right. There's always
one
of
of
you
us
that's
will be
available.
there
Well,
to
yeah,
make it work.
and that's why, like I said, we're always there. We always make that very clear because, if one of us isn't, then the other one is, and
It's just hard to be.
If
I
you're
mean,
one person, you
we're
can't-
all
you can't-
close
you can't
friends.
say that.
I mean,
Right,
that's my
as well.
husband's best friend.
Right.
So we just don't vacation together much.
that's the only.
That's the only
That's
part.
the only thing that's hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
But yeah.
Well, that concludes this episode of Today's Market. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time.